Welcome back to another video here on the Smallholding. It's Saturday morning and you're going to have to bear with me for the first couple of minutes of this video because it might end up me being a little bit upset. At the end of the last video we said that something really sad had happened, and I think the empty stable behind me tells its story on its own. I know a few people saw on Instagram, because you guys follow us on there, on Facebook, what's happened. Yesterday on Friday we had to have our beloved horse Lydia put to sleep. She was a grand age of 28. We've had her for coming up to 14 years, and a little pony, we've still got him. We've had him about 12 years. Lydia was old, and that's kind of what happened, unfortunately. So we said goodbye to her yesterday. One of the hardest goodbyes we've had to do, probably the hardest goodbye from an animal perspective. So we're trying to start the next chapter this morning. It's a whole new routine for Sonic, for us. Everything's different. We had challenges that we had to take care of with Lydia being a veteran, and certain challenges and frustrations that she had, that we managed every day through that. And so it's a totally different chapter for us at the minute. So what's important for us moving forward now is that we make sure we do everything we can for this little chap here. So generally you wouldn't keep one pony or horse on their own, the herd animals, but Sonic's not on his own. He's got the sheep and the goats and other things that we're going to talk to you about in a second. But I just wanted to get that out of the way because it's obviously a super emotional time, and there's lots of other things that we're going to be getting on with today that are less emotional and hopefully brings lots of smiles.
Well, like Tracy said, we're working through a bit of a difficult time here on the Smallholding because the horses were the main reason why we looked at getting somewhere for ourselves, because we were spending a fortune on livery fees. So the horses were a big part of us moving to a Smallholding. Since then, things have moved on and other things have become priority, but they've always been a big part of our lives here. But now we're only left with one. It's time to think about practically keeping him comfortable for the rest of his life here. So at the minute, he's just in one stable in the middle of four, and he's got nothing beside him or next to him to keep him occupied and keep him company and keep him comfortable. So we have just been talking over last night and that what we can do to rejig the barn. I mean, we've already rejigged it to got it perfect to how we like it, but now we've got to think practical about Sonic and keeping him comfortable. So we've already talked about a few jobs, a few different ways we can do it, involving moving him over and moving the goats into this stable, possibly creating a new entrance in the barn there to go outside. But right now we don't have a time frame on what we're going to do and where we're going to do it, because as the months move on or the weeks move on and the land gets drier, he'll be going outside anyway. So he'll be with the sheep, he'll be with the goats, he won't be on his own. So it's a bit of comfort there that we have got other animals around him to keep him company through the day when we're not here. But we don't have a timeline for any of that to happen really, because it all happened pretty sudden, so we didn't really plan for any of this. But Tracy's just starting now. I mean, it's only been overnight and she's starting now to get into a different routine with Sonic, see what works, see what doesn't. He'll be a lot easier to handle. You can just get him on his lead rope and take him up the lane or take him out in the field. And as the days and weeks move on and the land gets drier, he'll be going outside. So he'll be with the sheep, he'll be with the goats, he'll be with the other animals that'll keep him company. But like I say, this is all a total new chapter, so we'll just have to adapt and see what works for the best for us and for him. Well, we're back out in the plot, and understandably we never got anything done through the week last week, so basically it's exactly the same as it was where we left it last week. So we're both feeling a lot better. I'm off for a week, so we're expecting big things from myself. Well, weather pending, and it's going to be a lovely day today, so I'll get as much done as I can today. But we've settled on this design where we're leaving it for phase one. The only thing I've got to do is level out this bed here because it's a bit on piss over there, which is not ideal, and fill in the backs. And then once that's done, I'm going to anchor them all down, straighten up all this membrane. We are going to, if anyone's thinking, we're not leaving it like this in between the beds. We're going to cut out the middle section here. We're going to leave it like a foot from the side, and then we'll cut out the middle like we did over there, so it will be onto the actual ground. And then once that's done, I'll straighten up all the membrane, get it tucked into where we're leaving it to repath, and then basically I can get on to phase two.
so now we've decided where the beds are going and that we can actually get a wheelbarrow down. We've done the wheelbarrow test. I know Ali, you asked about that. This bed here that Stephen's kind of working the outline for didn't sit as flush on the ground as the rest, so he's just using his bommy knocker and a bit of brute strength to kind of create a hole, a framework for the outside frame to go in, and then we'll see how flat that lies. You can see there's like daylight under this one, for example, but that'll all fill in once we start filling with muck. Hopefully we'll have enough.
We're growing veg, it's not going to be a masterpiece.
Are you telling me or yourself?
Telling myself. This one here. We're on the path there,
Say again?
we're on the path.
Oh, the other one was on the
Yeah, but
original bed. This is the path.
yeah, but
There's a layer of soil on top of the path though from where you pulled it all out last week, isn't there? Well, while Stephen's busy on getting these beds to be level as best he can, I've just heard him say that's not too bad at all actually, so it sounds like he's getting there. I'm going to be getting the seeds in that we're actually going to be using for our food for this year, so I've got a lot to catch up on. I've had a bit of a rejig around. Normally I sow the seeds here, but it gets so bright coming in through here that I'm going to start working on this shelf, and then I've just got the view of the pipes, which we're going to move and tidy up out there, so that'll be nice once it's all sorted. Anyway, I'm going to be working here today. I've got my delivery of potatoes that have arrived. I've got another bag of Swift potatoes that I got from the garden centre that I'm going to be getting in today in the greenhouse. Well, depending on how much muck and compost and things we've got. I'm going to start getting these chitted because these were left outside and this bag is actually quite damp, so I'll get those chitted and they'll be left in just in here in the corner or somewhere, and hopefully they'll chit quite happily in the shed. And I've got two parcels here which I've bought. One's from Premier Seeds Direct and one is from DT Browns, if I remember rightly. Lots of nice seeds to be getting in. I've also got all of the seeds that I've shown you before, all of these kind. Ali, the basil that Ali sent through, I think it's in this bag. Absolutely tons. I'm going to be getting all sorts in today. I'm not going to take you through and bore you with every single different thing that I'm doing. I'll just give you an overview at the end, but I'm really happy to be back out in the garden. It feels nice after everything that's happened.
blind man on a galloping horse wouldn't notice anything wrong with that.
Bless you. It's not for you. It's not for you.
Right, I just need that one and that one.
Is he talking to me? You? Sir? Are you comfortable?
Well, that's phase one complete. I've just got it all nailed in. Some of it's a bit more rough and ready than others, like where the original paths were, where we've moved everything over. We couldn't get these stakes in properly, so we've had to just get them in the best I can, and I can't put one at all in that corner, so it's got enough in it that it won't bore and it won't pull. So we've settling with this, leave it alone until we come to fill it up, and then I'll cut the middles out and we'll start emptying the compost beds. So that's it for phase one. Now if we go over here for phase two, I've just been doing a bit of measuring up, so what I'm going to try and do is, if you can see on the camera, it's already got some wooden framing in the floor and it goes all the way around this plot. It's a bit all smashed over in that area over there. So I'm going to try and use that. It's actually 5 meters 10. So I'm going to try and use that as a guide for when I'm putting the new ones in. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull all these out, get all these cabbages out, get them all stored in what we're going to do with them, give some to the chickens, clear it all up. I'm leaving the rhubarb at the back, but then I'm going to rip the rest out, make the new beds, level the ground, cover it with the membrane like I've done over there, but I'm going to stop here, then we don't have to redo this path or redo this path. We can just follow on from that, and that'll save us a big job. So hopefully I'll get it fitted in that section there. And just a reminder, in case you missed last week, we're going to do 3 long beds the same as these, but a bit more spaced out, so we can get actually down with a wheelbarrow in the middle. So these paths are going to be 60 centimeters wide, and then they're going to come down to this piece here, which is like a 480 metre, that's like 16 foot. And then we're going to leave another gap and put a long narrow bed here that's just going to house these 4 rhubarb plants here when we finally get them done. So that's the plan. Get on with it.
Stephen's taken all of the greenery that was spare from these beds to the chickens. But look at these cabbages, there's some absolutely amazing ones here. These are really pleased with those. Some beauties. I didn't put that many in, but cabbage soup for days. You love destroying things, don't you?
Putting stuff back together.
You always have. So there's 3 rhubarb plants that are already in these beds. So that one, and that one. This here is, well, as you can see, is actually being taken up from one of the beds that Stephen destroyed / took to bits last week. That's going to be absolutely fine replanted once we've got this bed that's going to run all the way along the back here. Stephen was just saying, will it manage with it being so shady, because you can see where the shade already is from the hedge behind me. Obviously it's only sort of towards the end of February at the moment, but where I'm stood now it does tend to stay really shady. But I'm sure we'll get plenty. We've got other rhubarb plants at a different location, so anything that we do get will be a bonus. And to be quite honest, it was put here as a bit of a test or an experiment, in terms of if it doesn't work then we've got other plants elsewhere, so it's no great loss. But we can see it's already coming up, so I think it's going to be absolutely fine.
Right, so now I've got all them out, you can see I've dug around just to flatten it out so you can see the wooden frame, and that's already in. So the plan is to get it all like as level as we can with that wooden frame in there all the way around. So flatten all these beds that were there, and then we can put the membrane on, tuck it nice and tight in where this wood is to keep the weeds down to a minimum, and then I can just basically work off a flat canvas, and then hopefully it'll be easier than that one over there, because that one over there had all these stone paths in and everything. This one doesn't, and that's why it was probably a nightmare with weeds. So hopefully it'll be another weed-free growing area. That's the plan, make things easier for us for the next 100 years.
I wonder if this was originally just one big bed because of the frame, because the others, well, that one in the middle there with the sprouts in's got a frame around it, and that's left as one big bed, so I bet it was, you know.
Should we just leave it as one big bed then, like that?
No, well, no, don't do that. What do you think, Reddy? Excuse the lighting, I'm sowing some cucumbers amongst a million other things at the moment, but Stephen's just come in and his actual words were, do we have any forks left that I haven't snapped? And I've literally got 1 fork left. They're just not Stephen proof, so if you know of any super strong forks, garden forks, then I don't let him anywhere near the manure forks. Then please let me know. He's talking to me, I don't know what he said.
There you go. Get your spirit level on that. Right, it's as flat as I'm going to get it, I think. So we'll get the membrane down, get it pinned down with a load of rocks, and then I'll have to knock off because I've got another job to do, family time, and then tomorrow I'll get on with making the new beds for this.
There's only one person that trumps what I say, so guess who?
Well, it's not me, is it? Well, that's it for today. We've got it all ready, all prepped. Get a good start in the morning to making the beds, and hopefully we'll get them all out, get all the beds in, get all the paths in, get all this membrane tucked nicely down the sides and neatened up, and then that'll be phase 2 done. But for now, need to go and get a shower and do a bit of father-daughter time.
She's huge. Watch your legs. Says me from this side of the glass. Oh. Good use of your card, Ali.
Meow.
And where have you been, mister? You are filthy.
Right, well it's Sunday, it's absolutely tanking it down, but it couldn't deter us, so we got these made this morning in the garage, and we've got them out and just gone temporarily put together, and in the final-ish resting place, we've put them along the line of the wood that's originally there, but at the back, they all seam out, so we'll have to do, when we finally come to staking them all in, we'll have to just titivate them around a bit and move them about, get them all level and all square, and put the paths the right size. This end one here seems to be tilting down as well. The ground obviously slopes off, so we'll have, sorry about that dog interruption. So yeah, like I was saying, this end slopes off, so I think what we're going to have to do is either raise that end for that one, because they all look pretty level, so I think that's what we're just going to have to do anyway. I was thinking about stamping this one down like we did over there, but then this one would be lower than this one, so I think we'll have to pull the membrane back, rake some ground into there, or put some extra into there, and then we'll just put it back down and put it back on it, and it should be pretty level. But that's it for now, because it's absolutely tanking it down. I'm soaking wet, so I'm going to get in, get all the tools dried, and put my feet up. Right, well, we've got phase 2 completed today. It was a bit more of a nightmare than I thought it was going to be, because we're trying to keep everything in a straight line, or whatever we think is a straight line, but nothing's really square, so trying to get everything lined up and straight turned out to be a bit of a nightmare. But we've got it all done. Everything's level, everything's in, everything's anchored down, so that's phase 2 scratched off the list. So before I start on phase 3, which is that bed over here, so this was phase 3, what we're going to do with this bed, but we're still using this purple sprouting broccoli out of it, so I'm going to leave that for now. Like I say, get all tidied up, and I might renew the asparagus bed, because that'll be up before we know it, and then maybe redo the strawberry bed, which is next to it, because I've only got 5 bits of wood left. And so that's not enough to do what we want to do with this one, because our plans have changed again, so we had a different idea what we're going to do with this. So I think that's what I'll do, and I might, while I'm on with the old wood that I've took up, because some of it's still pretty decent, I might renew all these wooden framings around here as well, and just get it all nice and level, just ready for the growing season ahead. Also, they all need filling, so once I've got that done, I think might as well start filling them up, I suppose. Right, well, we're back in the plot, and finally a lovely day. It's Friday it's Friday dinner time, and I've only had half a day out here since you seen me last in here when I put these beds in on the Monday. So Tuesday I came in and I renewed the whole asparagus bed and mulched it with the leaves that were all fell off the trees over there, and that's as much as I got done, because I got rained off. So I had to find another job that I went and started, which I've been putting off for 9 years, which I'll take you in and show you in a minute. But now the weather's nice and back out, I'm going to get this finished off inside. I'm going to come out and renew all the framing around the strawberry bed that's just behind me there, and tidy that up. And then we've had another idea with this bed, because I can't get onto it at the minute. When I do finally get onto it, which might be in a month's time, we're going to just shorten it a little bit so we get like a decent sized path down here, but make it the same width as it is now, because I noticed on the asparagus bed, when I extend it a little bit, getting any posts into this is an absolute nightmare. There's foundations in there and there's everything. So just to make it easy, I'm going to leave it the size it is, so I can get some posts in and actually make the bed secure. And then on this area, we think we're going to rip this out. It was just some old railway sleepers that we had lying about, so we just bodged it up. It's never really done anything. So we're going to rip it out, and I think we're going to make like a 3-tier garden thing, that we're going to grow some flowers or some pollen loving plants for the bees or something like that. We'll figure out something pretty to do with it, but I think up to now that's the plan for that. So before I come back out here and get started on that strawberry bed, because we like to do these vlogs for ourselves as well, to keep a diary of what we've done, I'm going to take you inside and show you what I've been getting on with for the past 2.5 days, by the way, this has taken me. So we're going to go and finish that off. Right, well, like I say, this is the job I've been putting off for 9 years. We've decorated the whole house, some rooms twice. We've never touched the hall, stairs and landing for the reason that it was just going to be a nightmare. So I thought, while it was raining, I had some time off, thought it would only take me a day. Well, I'm currently 3 days in, and I've still got a bit left to do upstairs. I'll take you and show you in a minute. Not a lot of people might find interest, but I like to nosy around other people's houses, so I just thought I'd give you a quick tour. So this bit I'm stood in now is the original part of the house. It was currently just one house, and it was only one room deep. And where Tracy stood past this archway, this was the original front door. And then sometime in the 50s or 60s, they put this double extension on the front. So as you can see on the wall, it's all just built out of breeze block on the front, where all the old house here is all built out of cobble and stone. So I'll take you upstairs and show you what we've got going on. Right, I'm stood directly above where I was from downstairs, and this is what I've been dealing with on the whole of the walls in the house. Like on this bottom part of the wall was this like plaster slash paper stuff, what it was, like old wood chip or whatever it is. So the heat off this little steamer I've got wouldn't even penetrate that. So me and Jack over the last 3 days have been chipping away at that. Well, he's been chipping away at that. And on the top of here, it had 3 layers of paper on that I had to get through. So just down this corridor here, I've been on with this morning. As you can see, it's still a mess to tidy up. Tracy's not too happy about it, but we'll get there. That's just took me 3 hours this morning just to get that stuff off there. So that's why it's took so long, and it's an absolute nightmare. So I've only got one little bit left before I can get back outside. So like I said, downstairs, this is the original part. Oh, bang my head on that thing there. This is the original part of the house. So this bit here would have been the actual end of the house. So they've obviously like knocked it through and built like a double extension on there. And you can tell by the ceiling height, I mean, that's maybe just whatever it is, 9 or 10 foot. And then in this one, it's only here, it's only what, 6.5 foot up there. And then if you go under here, it's about 8 foot down there, because I've had to build the whole flooring up what it looks like to match into the extension that's being built. So that's what I'm dealing with. So I've got this tiny little bit left to get done up here around these walls. And once I've got that done, I can get outside and enjoy a bit of sun.
Well, we're finishing where we left off at the beginning of the video, but it's actually a week to the day that we lost Lydia, so just under a week before we started the video. We don't normally get much footage during the week. These are usually weekend vlogs, and we don't get anything during the week, but this week's been slightly different with obviously Stephen has been off and he's been working hard in the house and outside of the house. He was quite frustrated when the rain came, but at least we've started getting those jobs done in the house. The only thing is, I know what's going to happen. If it's nice now, then we'll just be working outside and the house will look like that for goodness knows how long. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, then please do keep watching. And whilst I think on, if anybody actually knows a plasterer in the northeast of England, specifically County Durham where we are, that's free to help us out, then we would very much appreciate it. We've been in touch with the chap that normally helps us, and he's not got back to us, so he's probably not doing that anymore. It was a bit of a sideline for him anyway, but that's a side note. So he has managed to get all of the asparagus bed changed and has been out there working this afternoon, but unfortunately it's too dark that I can show you now, so we'll include that as the start of the next video. It is looking fantastic though. It's been a week of getting used to the new routine. Sonic is actually out. He's been getting out 2 or 3 times a day, which has been really nice because that didn't happen previously for various reasons when we had Lydia, bless her. And it's been a week of getting used to the new, the different ways of working, but it's also been half term and stuff here with Stephen being off, so it hasn't been a normal week by any means. Also the seedlings, or the seeds rather, that I sowed at the weekend or last weekend, getting lost because I'm not used to doing this after the weekend's gone, they have started to show. So if you're interested in that as well, then I'll be going through in the next video what's germinated, what we've sown, and basically what the food is that we're going to be eating for the year ahead. So thank you for watching. I'll be signing off for now, and we'll be starting again tomorrow, but you'll see that next week. Hopefully this will get out either tonight, Friday or Saturday, but we shall see. Talk to you very soon, and thank you as always for supporting us.